Welcome back to the Glenn Beck program. If we're going to restore this country, to fix the problems, first and foremost, we must be grounded in the truth. And the lies that are coming out of Washington, they are putting forth such colossal lies. I mean, maybe that's why the flies are attracted in Washington. We have to address these first. Here's a couple examples. First of all, health care. The president rejected the notion that the new health care bill was in tax increase. Watch what he said.
Merriam-Webster's dictionary. Tax, a charge usually of money imposed by authority on persons or property for public purposes.
George, the fact that you looked up Merriam's dictionary, the definition of tax increase indicates to me that you're stretching a little bit right now.
Your critics say it is a tax increase.
My critics say everything's a tax increase. Look, we can have a legitimate debate about whether or not we're going to have an individual mandate or not. But
you reject that it's a tax increase.
I absolutely reject that notion.
Yeah, okay. So, no tax increase. He rejects it. I said it is happening now in an effort to defend health care bill in federal court. In federal court, the main argument of this president's administration is he's using the Anti-Injunction Act, which restricts courts from interfering with government's ability to collect taxes. And I quote, "No suit for the purpose of restraining the assessment or collection of any tax shall be maintained in any court by any person, whether or not such persons is the person against whom the tax was assessed." The president is speaking now to religious groups. He called religious groups out who said this health care bill would federally fund abortions. Here's what he said.
There are some folks out there who are frankly bearing false witness. We've heard that this is all going to mean government funding of abortion. Not true.
Not true. Let me show you this right here. May I? Okay. 10 commandments, Mr. President. The 10 commandments. Here they are. God's 10 commandments. Shall not kill. Remember that one in about 10 minutes. You shall not commit adultery. Shall not steal. On that one. Shall not bear false witness. How many of these can this administration break? Bearing false witness. He said abortion, no federal dollars. I told you he was the most anti-life president we had up until before Wilson. And now, what do we have? Well, how's it working out for him? Let me show you. In Pennsylvania, they were the first state getting federal funds, $160 million. Oh, look at Obamacare covers abortion in Pennsylvania. The mandated high-risk pool covers abortions. New Mexico was the second state, but they decided to drop the elective abortion from its list of covered procedures because they were getting too much heat. And now Maryland is getting $85 million in federal funds for its federally mandated high-risk insurance pool, which covers abortions. There you go. Now, we told you also that health care was first and foremost redistribution of wealth. They were saying to everybody that we were obstructors of progress and getting in the way of reform. That wasn't true. 2 days after the bill passed, the New York Times headline read, quote, "Healthcare attacks the wealthy inequality." Here it is. Can you bring it up? Do you have it? Okay, attacks wealth inequality. President Obama then went on and appointed Donald Berwick to head Medicare and Medicaid. Here he is.
Excellent health care is by definition redistributional.
Got it? They said, no, obstructor of progress. President Obama said the truth about health care reform was that you'd be able to keep your doctor, not once, but several times. Watch.
So here's the truth. If you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor. Under the reform we seek, if you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor.
If you like your doctor, you can keep seeing your doctor.
Here's a guarantee that I've made. If you've got a doctor that you like, you will be able to keep your doctor.
No matter how we reform healthcare, I intend to keep this promise. If you like your doctor, you'll be able to keep your doctor.
Okay, there's 5 that we just found on the you can keep your doctor. I said you're not going to be able to keep your doctor. You're not going to have a choice. Oh, no. Look, headline from the New York Times this weekend. Insurers push plans that limit choice of doctor. Quote, that could come as a surprise to many who remember the repeated assurances from President Obama and other officials that consumers would retain a variety of health care choices. Whoa. We told you these things were coming. The reason why I tell you this now is because they have come. They have smeared us. They have spent I don't know how many dollars to destroy me and people like me for telling you the truth. But now it is playing out. Now it is playing out. When will your friends and neighbors wake up? There is more coming. I'm going to show you something next that will fry your brain. And again, I will be called crazy. But look at the track record and ask yourself, who has been telling the truth? Hello, America. Spooky guy over here. I wonder who he is. I wonder who that guy is right there. Oh, we'll tell you in just a few minutes. Story came out a little while ago that, quite honestly, I can't believe I missed. Somebody sent it to me, and I'll explain in a minute. I wouldn't have believed it if it hadn't been reported by this one individual. It's about the presidential assassination program, where American citizens are targeted for killings far away from any battlefield based exclusively on unchecked accusations by the executive branch that they're involved in terrorism. Ha! That's interesting. How did we miss that? I don't know what I was on that day. There are allegedly dozens of Americans on this hit list who pose a threat to the United States. Gee, I wonder if I'm on it. The National Security Advisor, John Brennan, said this.
There are, though, in my mind, dozens of U.S. persons who are in different parts of the world that are very concerning to us.
Okay, so we just shoot them. We just shoot them wherever they are. Don't worry about the Miranda rights. Don't worry that they're American citizens. If they're on the battlefield, I say, fine, I get it. But off the battlefield, gee, I'm a little fuzzy on the whole American citizenship thing. Let's refresh our memories on what this administration said it believed. And I have to tell you something. I'm looking for people who actually believed this president. January 15th, 2009, there is no terrorism. It's man-caused disasters. Really? March 13th, 2009, the administration said there's no such thing as an enemy combatant. Why? Because enemy combatants, well, we'd be able to put them in jail now, wouldn't we? March 13th, the war on terror doesn't exist. It's the overseas contingency operation. Yeah. Then, May 26th, Brennan proclaims jihadists are not the enemy.
Our enemy is not terrorism because terrorism is but a tactic. Our enemy is not terror because terror is a state of mind. And as Americans, we refuse to live in fear.
Okay.
Nor do we describe our enemy as jihadists or Islamists, because jihad is a holy struggle, a legitimate tenet of Islam, meaning to purify oneself or one's community.
Okay.
And there is nothing holy or legitimate or Islamic about murdering innocent men, women, and children.
I got it. This is from a president who talked about Arab American families being rounded up off the streets of New York.
If there's an Arab American family being rounded up without benefit of an attorney or due process, that threatens my civil liberties.
That hurts his civil liberties. No rounding up of Arab American families without due process, because it hurts his civil liberties as well as theirs and yours and mine. Yes, sir, Mr. President, I agree with you. I've never seen that happen, but I agree with you. Now, he campaigned on closing down Gitmo because of all of the horrors and atrocities. He wanted to show the world American justice. Let's show the world our justice system. Let them see it on the other side of the planet, by the way. Has anybody seen the story covered by Fox of the Gitmo inmates? They're now watching Twilight, the new vampire movie, on brand new flat panel TVs. Right there by the beach. Wow, sounds horrible, doesn't it? But he said Gitmo had to be closed because it didn't line up with American values and ideals. I got to tell you something. Sitting around all day watching TV on the government dime does seem to be a new American ideal, but I digress. President Obama said if he was elected, he would end the warrantless wiretaps of George W. Bush. He believed it was an affront to human rights if phone calls of terrorists were even monitored or listened to. But I shouldn't have said terrorists or terrorism, because that's hateful to call it that. But now it's totally cool to shoot Americans suspected of terrorism, something that doesn't exist. I'm a little confused because none of this seems to add up. The hypocrisy, kind of like they're against the death penalty, but they don't want to send anyone to prison without trial, so we'll just give them the death penalty and not send them to prison, but we still don't have the trial. Can you help me out with this one? Because I can't possibly figure this one out.